I'm only 39 years old with 33 years of experience. Well, you've done at least 21 movies. What made you decide to tackle weekly television? When this project came to me about a Texas Ranger, it was the kind of character that I thought that I would enjoy playing week after week. Let's get it on. Would you compare them with any characters you played in the past? They're very close. Most of my characters in all of my movies have been closely related because it's a lot of Chuck Norris in them. You never heard of Chuck Norris? 4-time world karate champion. 6. Chuck Norris became an action hitman in the 80s and 90s, thanks in large part to his long-running role on Walker, Texas Ranger. E.T. was on set more than a dozen times. Your intimate knowledge of the fighting and your techniques make the action part go more smoothly. No, I've done so many fight scenes, of course, that's where my expertise really lies is in my fighting ability, but it's how you shoot them. So, how much has this character meant to you? It's been a lot of fun. The Emmy-nominated series, which debuted on CBS in 1993, ran for nearly a decade. Before he became a TV star, Chuck was known to play the good guy in films like Breaker and Invasion USA. But in 1973, he was bad to the bone as kung fu icon Bruce Lee's arch-nemesis in The Way of the Dragon. It was Chuck's breakout role. But the on-screen rivals were real-life friends. In fact, they sparred for 3 years prior to shooting this legendary fight scene. Tell us about changing Bruce Lee's fighting style. And when Bruce and I met, Bruce and I started working out together. And my style of fighting was, more Korean, a lot of high kicks, spinning kicks, so forth, where Bruce's was more of in-close type fighting and low kicks. But Bruce was a very open-minded type of a guy. Going back to your days, you were just competing in karate contests around the country. How is the psyching up for an acting role similar to the psyching up you had to do for those matches? Well, it's very, very similar. Because the key thing that where karate and the acting kind of work hand in hand is the discipline and the concentration that you've got to maintain at all times. Come on, Norris. Come on. The 5 feet 8 inches Oklahoma native even showed off his moves to Johnny Carson, David Letterman, and game show icon Bob Barker. When Bob did that TV show Truth or Consequences during my karate days, and they invited me down to do a demonstration, and Bob and I became instant friends. I taught Bob for like 7 years. He became very, very proficient. In fact, he converted his garage at his house into a gym, and I used to go over there 3 or 4 times a week and teach him. Barker eventually earned his black and red karate belts under Chuck's intense training, but it came at a cost. One time when we were sparring and he kicked me right in here and it hurt. The next lesson his brother Aaron came over and we were sparring and he hit me right here with his fist. So I went to the doctor and I said, I'm so sore right here and so sore here. He said, well, let me x-ray you. When he came in, he said, I can understand why you're a little sore. He says, you have 4 broken ribs. My mother was living there. She said, I don't think you should play with those Norris boys anymore. Yes. The Air Force veteran took no prisoners. He discovered martial arts at 18 while stationed in South Korea. In his lifetime, Chuck earned 3 black belts and became the first man to win the world karate title. But the disciplined fighter appreciated the little things. We were with him in 1996 at his Texas ranch. How many acres? 700 acres. Do you ever get to see all 700? Do you ever go out? Yeah, actually. Oh yeah. Actually, that's what I'll do. I'll jump on the horse and spend the whole day just riding. Well, this was second time around for me. I got 3 grown children, but now I'm older, more mature. Chuck shared his 2 oldest sons with his first wife, Diane Holechek, in 1988. The high school sweetheart separated while he was filming Delta Force 2. Nearly a decade later, he tied the knot with model Gena O'Kelley and welcomed his youngest twins, Dakota and Danilee, in 2001. At 61, you're going to be the father of twins. Yeah, I'm just an overachiever. Can you believe you had twins just 3 months ago? I can't believe it. Fast forward to 2012. E.T. was with the then-tweens and their dad on the red carpet for one of his final features, Expendables 2, the highest-earning movie in the 4-film franchise. Who's the toughest out of all of you guys? Sly. Hi, y'all. Question. That's a tough question to answer. Of course, I'm going to I always say I am. And Slice going to say he is. Hey, Booker. Great to see you. I've known Sly and Arnold and Bruce since the 60s and 70s, and so it was a lot of fun working with them. But you guys still know how to kick some you-know-what.